Hello and good morning. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We are starting off pretty chilly out there across the Houston area. Sunny and chilly conditions today. Nights and mornings remaining chilly at least through much of the week. And then rain chances once again returning as we head into Wednesday. So live look right now, 34 degrees, sunrise at 7:17. Well, it definitely is, we're seeing those days become a bit longer across our area. So as temperatures, we're tracking the latest in terms of our neighborhood weather network at the street level, and we are just 1 degree above freezing out at Whittington Court. This is out in the energy corridor south of I-10, and then areas especially along 45 near Leak City, Harvest Hill Drive at 30 degrees, Mill Garden Court at 32. Out in Montgomery County, they're also dealing with cooler temperatures in the 20s across the area, especially out in the Conroe area. This is Lake Conroe. Montgomery County Fire Station number 51 at 28 degrees, and then areas in Conroe likely to see more of those 20-degree temperatures, especially as we head into the next couple of days. So freeze alert has expired across our area, especially for south of Houston, but we're going to struggle once again to make it out of the 50s heading into closer towards the 4 p.m. newscast, especially in the upper 50s by latter half of the day. So looking ahead, we're going to see the arrival of this coastal low in combination with the cold front that will bring some rain chances heading into Wednesday. That is going to be mostly a little bit much needed in terms of our rain chances for the middle of the week. And so as we go into looking at the current conditions right now, we have high pressure system in place that's keeping us mostly dry. However, our Houston Texans are taking on the Patriots, and they are in Foxborough, and this is what they're looking at right now. As of this morning, we have some snow that's actually moving in across Foxborough. So it's just to the north of Providence, right around there, and you're seeing those snow showers that are moving into that area. And as we look at future track in terms of what we're expecting to see for the most of the day, we have most of that snow more south of Foxborough. But as we go into the latter half of the day, this is around kickoff time, they are expecting the arrival of even more snow showers, especially as we get closer towards 3 p.m. So 35 degrees, and then by 7 p.m., this is the second half of the game. You see that snow to the south, it's going to start moving northward, and we're going to see more widespread snow stretching as far north as Boston, even Manchester. So folks that are in that area and all those roadways, likely to be a little bit messy out there, but I think they're, that's in the Northeast. I think those folks over there, they're prepared for this weather. I don't know about for us Houston visitors in terms of our fans. I know the Texans are good. They've practiced in this weather before, but our fans that are visiting that area are going to be pretty cold, and hopefully they bundle up as we are going to see some winter conditions. However, here in Houston, mostly sunny skies, high temps topping out in the 50s. It's going to be a little bit chilly today. You're going to need a light jacket, especially if you're heading out to those watch parties for this afternoon. But we are expecting those winds to still bring some somewhat cooler conditions, especially during the afternoon hours. So drought report is showing some severe drought now moving into portions of south of Houston, extreme drought moving into the western areas. So that is a level 4 out of 5. So areas towards San Antonio still enduring those drought conditions, and we do need the rain. And so the good news is that we are going to get some rain, especially as we head into our week. So looking at the situation for today, rain chances moving in for Wednesday, but we will be warmer for Monday, followed by a weak cold front that's going to be moving in by Tuesday and Wednesday, and then warming right back up into the upper 70s. Also, weather models are showing another system that is going to be moving in by next weekend, and that could bring some more rain chances. Also, other portions of Texas are going to have to really look out for the possible winter weather, especially as we head into Sunday and Monday of next week, as that next cold front will be moving into the area. So as far as our rainfall outlook, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for wetter than normal conditions as we end the month of January. We're sort of getting into this time period, especially as we in January, where we start going into the start of severe weather season. That's not really until March and April, but we've seen in years past where we have seen a rather active end of January, early February, take into account the snowfall that we saw last year. Also, there was a tornado outbreak in Houston's weather history at the end of January. So we're gonna have to really pay attention that we might see that weather activity start ramping up in terms of possible maybe severe weather or definitely another winter weather conditions, as we're still under the gun for the winter season, at least as we head into the months of January and February, which is Houston's coldest months of the year, as well as the rest of the nation. Overnight lows dropping into the 30s. Makawa at 34, 34 in Aldine, Jersey Village at 34. This is tonight. We're not going to see those freezing temperatures, but it's still going to be cold with overnight lows still dropping into the 30s. We might see some more of those freezing temps north and northwest of Houston, especially Navasota, even in the Brenham area. Columbus at 32. And so definitely you're going to need to bundle up and wear those jackets if you're heading out the door. As far as your 7-day forecast, high temps topping out in the 50s for today. We are expecting the arrival of warmer conditions for tomorrow, but those morning temps, maybe if you're heading out for a morning jog or a morning run, they're still going to be pretty chilly out there, and you're going to need to layer up if you are heading out the door during those early morning hours. And so just keep that in mind that we're expecting those conditions to still remain winter-like here across Houston for the next 7 days, and our average high for during this time of year usually in the low 60s, and that's exactly what we're expecting to see as we go into the next 7 days. So jacket weather definitely still in the picture for the next few days, so definitely just keep those on standby as we go into this afternoon as well as into the start of our work week. Weather story for us, for those that just now joining us here on KHOU 11+, we are expecting sunny and chilly conditions. A lot of us woke up to freezing temperatures, especially for us here in Houston. Areas north of Houston, we're in the 20s this morning, and we're still sitting in the 20s for some of us, but those nights and mornings are going to remain chilly, especially for the next 7 days. Rain chances will be moving on in by the middle of the week, especially for Wednesday, as we're going to be tracking a coastal low moving in across the coastal areas of Texas. But 34 right now here across Bush Airport, and that is above freezing. 32 degrees is the freezing mark, and as that sun has risen, it is warming those temperatures up, and we are expecting it to be a little bit warmer for this afternoon. However, some of us are sitting at just above freezing, around freezing, especially at Restmere Drive. This is the Energy Corridor at Pine Sap Drive at 33 degrees. Areas south of town are still seeing 31 out at Almani Drive at 31, but Montgomery County, especially our northern areas, likely to still see those 20-degree temps in some of those locations. So definitely pretty cold conditions, winter-like conditions here, but the good news, it's dry out there, and we're not looking at any precipitation, no freezing hazards, or no travel hazards if you're making your way out the door this morning. Just bundle up, especially if you're heading out this morning, maybe off to church or to breakfast or brunch, but we are expecting those temps to be in the 50s still this afternoon, getting up to 57 degrees by the 4 p.m. hour. So definitely keep that in mind, that as we look ahead for this week, we are expecting the arrival of a coastal low that is going to be bringing us some rain chances, especially for Wednesday. The only thing that we're tracking today is the snowy conditions that are in store for us as our Houston Texans are taking on the Patriots. And this is not for us, but out towards the northeast as they're heading in. They're in Foxborough, and they are looking at some snow showers that are now moving in to portions of eastern Massachusetts, especially as Foxborough, which is just to the north of Providence, just south of Boston. It's right around there, and they're dealing with some snow showers moving northward, especially for today. And so just definitely keep that in mind, that for all of our visitors, our fans that are out there, they're going to be dealing with even more snow as we head into the evening and afternoon hours, especially as we get closer to 6 p.m. And so it's going to be likely that the second half of that game is going to be rather snowy out there, especially as those temps are going to be in the just below freezing. So lots of snowfall expected for Foxborough. And also keep in mind, Gillette Stadium does not have a roof, so they're going to be exposed to all the winter elements, especially as we head into this evening. As you're able to see, that snowfall is going to be starting to become more widespread as we get to around the halftime to around the fourth quarter. For us here in Houston, a little bit warmer, sunny skies, high temps in the 50s. You're still going to need those jackets if you are heading out the door, but the good news is that we're dealing with some sunshine, and we are expecting it to be a little bit warmer for today than what we saw yesterday, but very beautiful day expected, especially as we still are going to be seeing those temperatures in the 60s and 50s through the next few days. Rainfall outlook, this is important to show because the Climate Prediction Center is calling for weather than normal conditions, especially as we head into the end of January. Keep in mind that the end of January for us here across the Houston area, we have seen weather start becoming a little bit more active. I know we've been quiet and we've been seeing the lack of rain for the past maybe a couple of months, but just end of January, early February, we've seen some quite significant weather events in Houston's weather history. We had the snowfall that happened last year during the end of January. We've had a tornado outbreak during the end of January. Also, we've seen those conditions. So we're still under the gun for some these weather systems to still bring some active weather. And of course, we will always keep you up to date, especially on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 app. Overnight lows dropping into the 30s once again, but less freezing temperatures as we head into tonight into tomorrow morning. Areas to the north, especially Navasota, likely to still see the temps drop to below freezing, but we are still expecting to see those pretty cold and chilly temps, especially for the next 7 days as you head out the door. So just definitely keep those jackets on standby, or maybe this is an excuse for you, go shopping for more winter weather outfits here across Houston, which we don't really wear it all that often, but we are expecting it to be a little bit warmer for Monday, but another little cold front arriving on Tuesday that will bring some slightly cooler conditions for Tuesday, and then we're tracking that rain chance for Wednesday that we could see more of those higher rain accumulations along the coastal areas, and then warming up into the upper 60s for Thursday and Friday. However, we're going to have to pay attention for next weekend. Models are hinting that we could see another big weather system that could bring some rain chances, and it really could bring some possible winter weather for portions of North Texas. So we're tracking that, and we'll definitely get more information on that as we progress throughout the next couple of days. And as always, you can find the latest weather updates here on KHOU 11 Plus, as well as on KHOU.com, and make sure to have those push notifications on your phone, because we do send out those push notifications updating you on all the weather happenings here across the Houston area. So definitely have a good rest of your Sunday and bundle up out there. It is going to be quite cold, and we're expecting these chilly temps at least lasting for the next 7 days. Again, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your extended forecast.